The Batman Part 2 is one of the most anticipated movies of the year, if not the most anticipated. It's up there for sure, with Superman, Avengers Doomsday, Spider-Man Brand New Day, and Fantastic Four First Steps, all of them coming out within the next year or so. But the Batman Part 2, well, that's now on its second delay and the possibility of being cancelled. The Batman Part 2, DC's most anticipated movie after the release of Superman. Well, we all know how Batman is literally DC's only hero, and the fact that, well, recent events with movies, besides the Superman, if that movie flops, then we're back to Batman constantly for the next 10 years, because DC will just decide to put everybody to the bottom of the row, with Batman getting the premium treatment of being the top, which sometimes is good, because Batman is technically the greatest superhero in my opinion. Don't hate me for it. Spider-Man is close second. But if Superman fails, then we're back to being Batman for ages, which doesn't give many other DC characters, which are really good, much time to shine. So fingers crossed Superman is a great success. But Batman Part 2 being now on its second delay. But how did it get to this? Well, this is what we're going to go over in this video. So we're going to go over why this movie is so hyped and why it is facing problems like possibly being cancelled. So it all started back in summer of 2016 when Ben Affleck was announced he was directing and starring in a solo Batman movie. Now, we don't know much about this movie, but in 2019 it was announced it was cancelled due to personal issues and reshoots for Justice League, which is a whole different can of worms. But Affleck stepped down from the directors and being Batman. But then Warner Brothers decided to bring in Matt Reeves to direct the Batman movie, which was its own solo universe, and Robert Pattinson was playing Batman, which at the time was pretty much hated, as much as Heath Ledger being cast as the Joker, because up until then, Robert Pattinson was only known as the guy from Twilight. But it was confirmed with Matt Reeves being the director and Robert Pattinson starring as the Caped Crusader. The movie was supposed to come out in summer of 2021, but when COVID-19 hit, the world just froze. Just before COVID-19, the movie started filming on January 27th, 2020, and I think we got some photos of the Batsuit. Then COVID broke out, and then it got delayed. Filming was stopped until September 2020, when it was then resumed, and then it finally finished filming in March 13th, 2021, basically a year after COVID had started, and then released to the world on March 4th, which unfortunately I did not get to see in cinemas. But then April 26th, 2022, the Batman Part 2 was announced with a release date of October 2025. And at the time of recording this was almost 3 years ago when this was announced, which is insane to think about. We didn't really hear much about it, but in 2023 it was delayed again to October 2026. And then in 2024 we had the writer strikes, which got a lot of stuff delayed. And then December 27th, 2024, Warner Brothers decided to give us all a great Christmas gift, and that gift was another delay. Yep, they delayed the movie again to October 2027, which is 5 years after the first movie would have been released and 8 years after the universe was announced, which is insane to think on. This year, so we're in about April 2025, the only announcements we have had is been from James Gunn and a couple from Matt Reeves that the movie is still not got a final script, which is a bit worrying. But then Robert Pattinson has said that it's supposed to start filming at the end of this year.
We haven't shot it yet.
Oh, you haven't shot it? When do you start shooting it?
I think end of the year.
Okay, I see. I thought it...
Happy with the progress you're making and the release date you have now?
Yes, absolutely. No, things are, this year we're going to be shooting, and I'm very excited about it. And it's there's been a lot of stuff going on, and it's taken longer than I would have wanted, but also I'm super excited about what we're doing, so I really can't wait to share that with everybody.
But Robert is taking on roles like Christopher Nolan's Odyssey and Dune 3, which are both supposed to start filming in summer 2025 and spring 2026, which makes me think, could there be another delay, or what rumours are saying, could the Batman Part 2 be cancelled? Now, Matt Reeves, the man who gave us the first movie and also his other films, is clearly taking his time to give us the best possible movie, which is what I'd prefer, rather than a rushed slop of a movie coming out like Batman and Robin.
Hi, Freeze. I'm Batman.
Obviously, there are things going on behind the scenes, and Matt Reeves apparently not being well, which, if he's watching this, I don't think he is. Wish him and his family the best. Now, recently, over the past week, we have had rumours and theories that Matt Reeves will drop and leave the Batman Part 2 due to him not being able to come up with a script, which basically just means the movie's going to get cancelled and that's it. The entire thing's over, which would be extremely unfortunate, and I hope this news isn't true. But if that was to happen, then at least we have the new Batman in the new DCU in Brave and the Bold. But again, that movie also got delayed. I do hope this rumour of the Batman Part 2 being cancelled isn't true, and that the script is nearly done and production will start filming, hopefully. I don't think Warner Brothers wants to lose a movie on their favourite cash cow, and given the success of the first one and even more success of the Penguin spin-off show starring Colin Farrell as Oz Cobb, rising to power through the aftermath of the Batman. I really hope it doesn't get cancelled. It's got a lot of potential and also a lot to live up to, like the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight trilogy. But at the end of the day, that's what happens with movies. But some things get released, some things don't. I mean, Batgirl was announced, filmed, suits and that were made. Michael Keaton was supposed to come out. It sounded amazing, and then it just got cancelled, and that's it. Never seen anything, never heard anything ever again. And Matt Reeves is going to go on to make a third one after it and maintain the same level he has done for the first one. It could possibly be the best comic book trilogy and even outbeat the Dark Knight trilogy. Yes, I said it. A film is better than the Dark Knight trilogy.